Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Martinsville Speedway for the Champ Speedshop 175. And this is the penultimate race in the Team Watson Racing Setups chase for the Output Cup. So awesome to be here with all of you here for our penultimate race of the season. Let's go through and check out our top 10 here real quick. To the surprise of no one, Christian Budd currently on top from Kyle McCoy and Scott Rickard in third, Travis Massio fourth. Tad Failer fifth, Logan McCannley P6, Watson, Horton, Pape, and Pentacuff. Only 14 people signed up for the moment. Marquez and Campbell, 11th and 12th. Collins and Salama have not set lap times as of yet. Just waiting for cars to start rolling out on the racing service by the looks of things. They get ready for a pit party. Travis Massio, the first one to roll out. Taking a quick look at the points, Christian Budd leading the way by 14 over Austin Collins in P2. Austin jumping up 5 positions from his finish last week. Scott Rickard losing 2, dropping from the lead to 3rd. Ken Campbell up 5 to 4th. Slama's up 1, Watson down 2. Pizzakemi, after getting cruelly taken out there on the last lap, down 5. Got Horton in 8th, Amoit in 9th, McCoy 10th, Griesbaum 11th, and Logan McCannley sitting down in 12th. And some would say he's mathematically out of the chase for the Cup. Everyone's getting lined up here. Generally speaking, 2 pace laps are required. Just because such a small track, we need to get everyone organized as quickly as possible. But here we go as I roll through turns 3 and 4. We're probably going to get the green this time by. And they're off and racing. Lots of wheel spin as the cars start side by side down, or side to side down the front straight, I should say. Good jump there for McCoy in the lead. There are only 14 cars signed up at the moment for racing action here tonight. We'll keep an eye on that as more people join. Brian Pizzakemi is in the chat. He says he's in the chat just so he doesn't get fined. Now this race is either going to go one or two ways. It's going to be perfect serenity the whole way through. We're going to go all 175 laps. Or it's going to be just absolute chaos, which is the one that we're expecting. Christian Budd pulling away from McCoy now. Around goes Marquez. That was right in front of Pentacuff. Pentacuff very quick on the brakes there to avoid. There's a body panel still flying around. Oh, and there goes the 16. McCoy just pushing a little bit too hard, trying to catch Christian Budd. On the 15 with issues, the 05 with issues as well. Scott Rickard. 15 was getting around him. And there he goes, nosing it into the fence. Should be an interesting night of racing though for the penultimate race of the championship, especially coming off of being at the 2 Mile Auto Club Speedway last week. A completely different set of skills for tonight's race. But Christian Budd, he possesses the skills on every single racing surface except for dirt. So the next time we run cars that he likes to drive, I'm going to call for a dirt race. And I'll put my foot down on that with the Drivers' Council. Yeah, it looks like we're getting a 19.2 to pass the slap set by Christian Budd. He is over a 10th clear of Kyle McCoy. Around goes the 13 of Massio. And there goes the 74 of Collins following suit. It looks like the chat's given us at least a +1 on the support for a dirt track. Just to torture Christian Budd. Believe it is a TBD on the schedule, so that way no one knows what's coming. You still can, Huck. There's plenty of time. Get on in this race, Dave. Time ticking down very quickly. And laps ticking up even quicker. With the 19-second laps, which will hopefully deflate down to about 20-second laps. We'll get 3 laps in per minute. So if we get a good green flag run, this race could go on for a while. sorry, what I mean is, if we get a good green flag run, this race could be over very quickly. If we don't, this race could go on for a while. Still 3.5 minutes left in practice. Plenty of time for any drivers sitting in chat that would like to join and get a free top 15. There goes Dad Failer around coming out of turn 2. The exit of the corners is going to be the point of contention, I do believe, in this race. Restarts and the exit of corners. That's where these cars are at their most sketchy. .90 seconds left. Christian Budd still sits on top, but only by .095 now over Austin Collins, accomplished short track racer here in the Output Racing League. But I think right now we are going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, these guys will have completed qualifying. So make sure you guys stay tuned. The starting grid, then racing action, will be coming up very shortly. qualifying is complete and it's time for us to go through the starting grid for the Champ Speedshop 175 here from the Martinsville Speedway. We have 16 participants signed up for the racing action. And on the pole, we're going to have the 16 of Kyle McCoy. On his outside will be the 9 of Joe Slammer. Row 2 inside will be the 17 of Christian Budd. The 05 of Scott Rickett out of P4. P5 will be the 15 of Ken Campbell. P16, the 39 of James Watson. P7 is going to be the 5 of Mark Pentacuff, with P8, the 13 of Travis Massier. P9 and the last car eligible for hard charger will be the 52 of Dave Huckleberry. Austin Collins in the 74 will be out of P10. P11 will be the 21 of Thad Faylor, with P12 the 00 of Jonas Marquez. I got Logan lined up in the 13th position. Andrew Griesbaum will be out of 14th. Got Matt Horton 15th, and 16th is Mitch Pape. We do have several cars who have exited since the start of qualifying, or have not loaded in just yet. Those being Logan, who exited, Griesbaum, who I think is still loading in, Horton, who I think is still loading in, and Pape, who has exited. See where they were scheduled to start. 74 Austin Collins is just waiting to get on the grid. There he is. Andrew Griesbaum is on the grids. There's just McCanley, Horton, and Pape who we are missing. As I said, 2 out of those 3, at the very least, have exited, although it looks like we are starting to roll. So we're going to roll without them. $175 laps for our penultimate race in the Team Watson Racing Setups chase for the Output Cup. You're watching this at home and you've got a tall boy ready. Crack it open and start drinking, because you're going to need it. Because this could be a long one. Lights are out on the pace car. We'll go next time around. So we had 16 register. We've got 13 cars to take the green flag. Pace car is in. And here we go for the Champ Speedshop 175. We are green.
Go. Green flag.
A little bit of wheel spin there for Joe Slammer on the outside line. No one could really get going there. That gives Kyle McCoy a clean and clear lead going through turns 1 and 2. 17. Christian Budd right on his tail. Looks like the 15 of Ken Campbell is going to take over third, as that outside line is just absolutely dying. Not much of anything going on there. Slammer still just trying to find a place to come down. Looks like he's going to get his gap right in front of the 5 of Pentacuff. Now the outside line is viable around here as well. Something you should never count out. Oh, it's the 21. Baylor. That's not how you run the high line. He caught the fence coming out of turn 2. So for the moment, everyone just trying to drive as gentle as they can. Not run over each other and not step on their dick. as it looks like the 05 of Scott Rickard looking for a move on Ken Campbell. Almost contact through the center of the corner. Campbell pinching as hard as he can. But it looks like it's going to be to no avail, as that inside line at the moment is still just too strong. Don't have enough people running that second lane for it to be rubbered in just yet. And Campbell still can't rest yet. He's still stuck on that outside line. Here comes James Watson now. See the momentum that Campbell just had. And I'm hearing noises behind me and I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, everyone being nice and gentle with each other right now though. Looks like the entire field not wanting to step on their collective dicks. Sounds like my neighbor has some works going on. That's kind of annoying. Hashtag duplex life. McCoy still leading away from Christian Budd. Christian furiously trying to look for a way around him. See the brake disc already glowing on the front of that 17 car. The brakes don't have much time to rest around here with the straights being so short, and the braking pressure you need to apply to get slowed down for these corners. There's a change towards the back. Travis Massey getting around Mark Pentecoff. And Joe Slimer ended up falling from P2 all the way down to P6. But Huckleberry would be happy. He's going to at least get a top 13, which is even better than the top 15 that he thought he was going to get. And it looks like McCoy actually starting to pull away from the 17 a little bit. I'm not sure whether Bud is just trying to keep some heat out of his tires, or whether he's actually just not got the pace right now. That's definitely an interesting development. Start looking anywhere and everywhere again. There's the Joe Slimer car. Mark Pentecoff in the 5. Just waiting to see where we're going to end up with iRacing. It looks like we're going to stay on the 5 for the moment. Pentecoff in P8, trying to hold off the hard charging 74 of Austin Collins. I say hard charging, he's gained to one position. So hard to make a move here at Martinsville. Saying that, James Watson is up 2 from where he started. And since he qualified, that puts him in hard charger position. The 13 of Travis Massey looked like he's starting to get a little bit sloppy on the exit of the corners. A little bit Pentacuff, get a little bit wavy there as well. Huckleberry has already gone a lap down. Yeah, I'm surprised that no one has stepped on it a little bit too hard coming out of a corner yet. Because normally that's the #1 leading cause of cautions around here at Martinsville. In saying that, with a 13 car field, I'm not expecting too many cautions. Got Rickard 3 seconds back, 3.5 seconds back from the lead as the 52 of Huckleberry's letting everyone through. He's just out here for the love of the game, and we love him for it. Well, that, plus also to get a top 15 next to his name. But yeah, it looks like for the most part, everyone's just strung out here. No one's really making too many moves. Now, whatever's going on in the apartment next door is definitely very annoying. I know you guys can hear it too, because I can see it in OBS. That's how loud it is. It looks like this little group we're following has caught up to the 52 of Huckleberry, as Collins and Baylor have gotten around Mark Pentacuff. Massia, who's out the way for Collins as well. The Collins ups 3 from where he started, but he didn't qualify, so he's not eligible for hard charger. Unless no one in the hard charger group actually gains anything. Hellhound in the chat coming in for his weekly lurk. We look at James Watson trying to work over the back of Scott Rickard. McCoy just about has a second over Christian Bud is not something that I thought I'd ever hear myself saying. Unless Christian Bud was damaged. But we've already got 35 laps complete of the 175 lap race distance. For some of these drivers, that right front tyre is going to start feeling very second-hand here soon. As Jonas Marquez is the next one in the crosshairs of our race leader. And you see he's struggling with his right front tyre. And there goes McCoy, as easy as you like, up the inside. So Bud's going to catch Marquez in a terrible spot there coming out of turn 2. He's going to lose a little bit of time from that. The next car on the list for these two is the 68 of Andrew Griesbaum. We look back at the battle for third. The battle between Rickard and Watson. And Watson has stuck to the back bumper here of Rickard like glue. You see just in the background there, the 15 and the 9 as well of Campbell and Slama. And the Huck has gone into the pits. Oh, and around was Jonas Marquez. How is that not a caution? What happened to Jonas here? It looks like it's just a classic case of he got sideways and then his nose just said, ooh, whoa. AKA he stepped on his dick. Oh, and Jonas is out. Just seen his yellow pit symbol turn to red. That's unfortunate. But that means that Huckleberry will now at least finish P12 if he gets back out on track. Oh no, Huckleberry is out as well. We're now left with an 11 car field. We've got 2 DNFs and 3 DNSs from this race. And I guess technically right now we have no cars a lap down, as the 9 of Slama all over the back of Ken Campbell. Slama running a slightly wider entry for a tighter exit. That's keeping it interesting. See the 15 of Campbell kind of diamonding the track a little bit. Comes right in on the curb, just out wide, then comes back in towards the curb. There is the leader, Kyle McCoy, as he's catching up to Andrew Griesbaum. He's still got about 1 second over Christian Budd. And Christian Budd's doing that just so he's not in the dirty air of the 16 car. He'll probably make a charge later in the run. He looks like he's trying to save his tyres a little bit for it. As we finish lap 52, we're going to take this advantage and go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more racing action here from the Champs Speed Shop 175 at the Martinsville Speedway, coming up very shortly. We are back already. We had to cut it short. Caution came out for our leader, the 16. Now, let's just go back and have a look at what happened here. Absolutely no pressure on him. And he just went a little bit too hard going into the corner. Spun it out into the second lane. See the 17. Christian Budd going low. The 68 Griesbaum goes high. And that has brought out the first caution of the race. Right when we're in the middle of an advert. As you saw, everyone did in fact pit. So we're just waiting to see how everything's going to line up here after the pit stop cycle. The 17 of Christian Budd is still in the pit. Oh, Christian Budd has damage? When and how did Christian Budd get damage? He's missing his back bumper. Look at that. Or he's not, and I'm just delusional, which is also very possible. Christian Budd had 2.5 minutes of damage. That's the report coming from pit lane. He wrecked avoiding Kyle McCoy. There you go. That's why he's at the back. And Scott Rickard has assumed the race lead. So it's Rickard, Watson, Campbell, Slammer, Collins, Baylor, Massia, Pentacuff, Budd, McCoy, and Griesbaum. So Budd and McCoy now have to do it from the back of the bus. Rickard has chosen the inside lane for the restart. And we're off and racing.
Green flag.
This has just made it interesting for the race win here. Looks like hostilities are going to resume between the 39 and the 05, as I just saw someone going around at the back. It's the 21 of Thad Faylor. He definitely looked like he got help there. That's Travis Massia in behind. You can see Thad's coming down. And I just don't think the 13 of Massia was prepared for it. Around goes Paylor. And it looks like no other damage has been done. Safety cars breed safety cars, and that's exactly what we're getting right now. Bud and Massey are the only two in the pits, as they're going to go get repairs made. I think Baylor will probably jump into the pits this time around. Looks like we're already starting to get into the 2x2 formation. Lights are out on the pace car, so it's going to be Rickard, Watson, Campbell, Collins, Slama, Pentacuff in P6, McCoy, Griesbaum, Bud, Baylor, and Massia, who is still in the pits and has gone a couple laps down. Pace car is in. A long wait between the pace car going in and when we get to the restart zone. But we are off and racing once more. Another excellent start there for the 05 of Scott Rickard. James Watson using the momentum at the higher line now to stay in front of Ken Campbell. Oh, Austin Collins was going to look to the inside of Ken there. A little bit balked. As the 16 and the 17 try and fight their way through the field. Like McCoy trying to go for the outside line and couldn't quite get the momentum required. As Christian Budd will sneak up his inside now, take that position away. Big plume of smoke out of turn 2. Don't see anyone terribly off the pace as Bud makes the overtake on the 9 car of Slama. McCoy following suit. Oh, McCoy just caught the fence big time. Rickard currently holding on to a 0.6 of a second lead over James Watson. There's Ken Campbell sitting in third. It looks like Thad Faylor is OUT out of this race. To now have 10 cars left. And Travis Massey will have to come out and do 6 laps to get ahead of Baylor. And it looks like Thad retired due to having issues in the pit lane. So his car was too damaged to race properly and safely. He's pulled it into the pits and called it quits. At the moment, he'll still walk away with a top 10. Oh, so he was the plume of smoke that we saw in turn 2. That explains everything. But if Masia stays in the pits, then Thad will still get out of here with a top 10. But if Travis gets out and runs at least 6 laps, then Baylor will drop to 11th, which is still not bad. But it's not a P10. Looking at the 74 Austin Collins. Trying to figure out a way around the 15 of Ken Campbell. On the 16. Going for the big move on Christian Budd. Pulled it straight to the inside going into turn 3. McCoy's got the advantage on the inside line. Oh, and Budd unsettled going through the corner, and he's going to lose one to Slama as well. Slama now back up into P6. And Budd from 5th to 7th. Very tight-knit racing right now. So we're already 80 laps complete, which means 95 laps to go. And there is still a chance these guys will have to make another stop. Everyone's just kind of gotten strung out here. Dean McCoy working over the back bumper there. 74 of Austin Collins. Christian Budd has fallen off the back of Joe Slama. The damage he has on the 17 Ford Fusion. Travis Masia still in the pits. He's been in there for a while now. As we pass the halfway point now, 88 down, 87 to go. Oh, there's almost a big dive there from the 16. Just about catching the back of Austin Collins as the loud noises continue from next door. By anyone's planning things that are loud during times of broadcasts is beyond me. I could see McCoy go for a move here shortly on the 74 machine. He's trying to do the wider entry into the corner, get the arc out. Everyone has just kind of chilled out a lot in this race. I think the way the tires are falling off, no one's really got anything for anyone. Could also be a byproduct of not really having enough people to rubber in the racing surface properly. There was a big slide from Austin Collins coming out of turn 2 there. Wonder if anyone else is struggling with the slides as the 16 has started to back off from the back of the 74 car. I think Christian Budd's just hoping for another caution to try and get some more damage fixed. He's not having a fun time back there in 7th. In fact, I think he's starting to fall into the clutches of Andrew Griesbaum. He's in 8th. Could you imagine if David Huckleberry was able to keep going, he would have come out of this with a top 10. The 16 is just trying to do anything he can to try and gain an advantage over Austin Collins right now. Austin wise beyond his years though. Holding him back just nicely. And, you know, let's just go into a state of crank it up, and let's listen to these machines as they drive around. Oh, I don't have a static. No, this sucks. Well, we'll do what we can with what we got. And caution is out for the 9 of Joe Slammer. See what unfolded for him here. Oh, that's not the way you're supposed to get in there. It's way too high. Just spun it out on the marbles, backed it up so he wasn't in the racing line. Well done. That has brought out the third caution of this race. I strongly suspect everyone is going to pit here. Got to get their fresh tyres on. I think with that, we're also going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will be going to the checkered flag, so make sure you guys stay tuned. More action from the Champs Speedshop 175 will be coming up very shortly. Welcome back to the Champs Speed Shop 175, the penultimate race in the Team Watson Racing setups. Chase for the Output Cup. Scott Rickard came into the pits in first, and he's come out of the pits in first. That's going to be Rickard, Campbell, Collins, McCoy, Griesbaum, Pentecoff, Slammer, Watson, and Bud at the back of the bus. I do also believe just after we went to the commercial break there, I heard engine go boom for Travis Massia. Travis has just joined us in the chat. How's it going, Travis? Did engine go boom? The pace car is in. We're about to get going again. There's already 2 damage down.
Green flag.
We're off and racing. Everyone's a little bit of everywhere. Looking around the field. Looks like McCoy is going to work his way back up into third. He's on the inside of Ken Campbell. As the 39 James Watson's trying to get around Andrew Griesbaum. Oh, what a lane change for the 15 of Campbell. Just barely had enough room to do that maneuver. Oh, so James Watson actually started at the back of the line for a too fast in pit lane penalty. And he's just already worked his way back up into E4. So he's a man on a mission right now. The defensive maneuver in front of Ken Campbell there as well. Hard but respectful racing here at the back of the top five. The front of the top five, though, the battle is on between McCoy and Collins. Side by side they go for P2. It looks like McCoy has the advantage, but he still hasn't quite gotten clear of Austin Collins. He does so now. Collins trying to fight back. Just doesn't quite have the legs under the 74 machine to do it. I do believe Scott Rickard is in hard charger position right now. He's +3, started fourth, currently first. If he drops back one, that'll put him in a tie with James Watson. So for James to get hard charger, he needs Scott Rickard to lose one, and he's got to gain one. The top four pulling away from the fifth place Ken Campbell. Christian Budd still at the back of the bus, still a lot of damage on the 17 car. So Plumbers are still going wild next door. Not sure what they're doing, but they're doing something. Sounds like they got one of them drain eels out. Trying to go through the pipes and clear them. As the battle is on for the lead, McCoy all over the bumper of Rickard. They pulled away from Collins and Watson ever so slightly. Much better run through 3 and 4 for Rickard that time. And McCoy will also have that earlier mistake in the back of his mind as he got a little bit loose there coming out of 2. He lost a ton of ground to the 05 of Rickard. Lap starting to wind down very quickly. Still, McCoy just can't find a way around Scott Rickard. I've been joined in the studio by the Aussie Sim Cat. As it looks like our top 4 just getting a little bit of separation from each other now, as the tyres are starting to burn off on these cars. They still have 39 laps to try and do something with this. Bob Pockrass on X has just reported that the 17 has fixed the front of the car. Like the crew in the 17's fixed the front, but they've made the car worse. Which is why Christian Budd ain't doing anything worth a damn. And why he can't escape P9. We call that purgatory. Well, the Aussie Sim Cat calls it purgatory. I just call it purgatory. And yes, I'll see myself out for that dad joke. Kyle McCoy all over the back of Scott Rickard once more. They started getting a little bit of separation and McCoy reeled it right back in. As there is now just 34 laps left in this race. Mike Pentecoff in a solid top 8 right now. Granted, there's only 9 cars on track, but hey, that doesn't matter when it comes to the record books. I'll see 16 cars started and he beat half of them. We're almost down to 25 laps to go, Mark. My telemetry is telling me we've got about 8.5 minutes of racing left. That's if we don't get a caution. If we do get a caution, though, I'm expecting strategy to come into play. Maybe a sneaky little 2-tyre stop. We'll have to wait and see on that. Oh, McCoy made a mistake there in the middle of 3 and 4. Now he's under attack from Austin Collins. Austin firing it up the inside. McCoy trying to hold off this contact. And McCoy will slip back to 3rd. He's trying to close the gap before Watson has a chance to stick his nose in. Scott Rickard clean and clear by 1.2 seconds. I think McCoy's tyres are shot now after that little slide that he had. That one little wiggle, and it's just cost him big. And Collins actually starting to pull gap over McCoy here. Collins could be a dark horse to take out this race as James Watson puts it in the fence. Oh, McCoy just put it in the fence. These guys are really starting to struggle for grip on the straights. But they go slow enough in the corners where it's not really going to affect them, but then on the straight it just snaps out on them. As Watson got a little bit deep into the corner, ran wide so he didn't run into McCoy. And I never thought this sentence would come out of my mouth, but Christian Budd is about to go a lap down. Scott Rickard has now gone underneath him. And officially, Christian Budd has gone a lap down here at Martinsville. Goes slow along the high line to let everyone through nicely. And here's now the first and only car 1 lap down. Austin. A little bit of a slide on coming out of turn 2 that time. It wasn't bad enough for anything to come of it as, wow, super deep went to 16 of McCoy. And that's allowed Watson through for third now. Tyres starting to become a massive factor in this race. We're coming to 10 to go. There it is, officially 10 laps left to run. This is all going to be Scott Rickard's race if he can hold on to it. But the battle is on for third. Collins has walked away with P2 here. In fact, he's starting to close the gap to Scott Rickard. It's not by enough that it's going to be a worry. But it was 1.2 seconds and it's now 0.9 and closing. Austin has definitely been looking after his tyres. Five laps left to run in this race. And I don't think, unless he makes a mistake, anyone's going to be able to stop Scott Rickard from this one. He's got clear track ahead of him. And he has 3/4 of a second behind. Austin is definitely closing the gap, but it's just not enough. Three laps left. Two laps to go. Now this has been a crazy race with major championship implications. Christian Budd's going to be on the back foot heading into next week. It's going to be white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for the 05 of Scott Rickard. Comes down the back straight for the final time. Into turns 3 and 4. Austin Collins caught the fence. Your winner of the Champs Speedshop 175 here from the Martinsville Speedway. It's going to be the 05 of Scott Rickard. P2 to Austin Collins, P3 to James Watson. Got McCoy 4th and Campbell in 5th. We'll get the full scope of positionals here in just a moment. There it is, Rickard with the win, Collins, Watson, McCoy, Campbell, Slammer, Griesbaum, Pentacuff, Budd and Faylor. That is your top 10. There's Massio, Marquez, Huckleberry, McAnally, Horton and Pape. The last three DNSing from the race. And everyone from 10th through to 13th DNFing. Celebrations on screen from the 05 of Scott Rickard. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, it is now time for driver interviews. And as always, we kick things off with the Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award. And today, our hard charger, who is going to sound completely different to every other time we've ever interviewed him, is also going to be tonight's race winner. It is, of course, the 05 of Scott Rickard. Scott. One small mistake from Carl McCoy, and the entire complexion of the race changed in your favor.
Yeah, for once I got lucky at Martinsville with that happening, just getting the lead from him. Not really just having to worry about keeping him behind me after that.
Now, not the greatest of qualifying efforts from you. Only 13 cars taking the start, and you qualified fourth. And the sheer determination, grit, and a lot of luck, and you found your way to the front of the pack and come home with hard charger tonight.
Yeah, I went into turn 3 on my left, and I locked the left front up a bit, and that killed my lap time, but I was still happy at least to be fourth.
All right, now let's talk about the race. Cautions breed cautions, and that's what we got early. What was it like just seeing that happen? And what were you thinking? Like, did you think we were going to just turn into a caution fest, or were you fairly confident in the guys that we had left that we're just going to keep on going?
I expect every Martinsville race to be a wreck fest, so I was surprised we got the first run at all, and then we just kept getting them. So I was, granted, I'm usually good at Martinsville, especially with rear tires, so I was happy with having a green flag run.
It looked like you're starting to struggle there towards the end of the race. Uh, you know, Austin, our local short track racer, as far as output's concerned, really started to close in the gap on you in those dying laps.
Yeah, I think I used a little bit early to keep McCoy behind me, and definitely fell at the right front a little bit at the end of the race, but Dirty Air is so powerful. I just was hoping for Dirty Air to hold him up for me.
All right, now let's look forward to next week. It's the last race of the season and the title deciding race for the Team Watson Racing Setups Chase for the Cup. We're going to be going to Michigan. So, what's the feeling like for you as we go and do the opposite of last week and go from the paperclip to a big wide 2 mile track?
2 mile tracks aren't good for me, so I don't expect much, but I also didn't plan to win Martinsville, so at this point, maybe I get lucky again.
Well, we can only hope. But before we let you go here tonight, Scott, anyone want to give a quick shout out to?
Team Watson Racing Setups, my dog, and everybody puts the league on.
And no shout out to his headset, which died on gridding.
Yeah, I don't care about that one. The mic died.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Scott. Congratulations on coming home with the Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award and the race win tonight. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to Michigan.
Thank you.
All right, that was the 05 of Scott Rickard, tonight's race winner. Coming up next, we're going to have our second place getter. And it is my pleasure. As soon as I find the right button to press, I think it's going to be this one. Going to be this. Nope, that's the wrong one. This one's the right one. The 74 of Austin Collins. Austin, P2 tonight. And towards the end of the race there, you were really starting to pour the pressure onto Scott.
Yeah, it was fun there at the end. I wish I would have figured that line out that I started running there with about 5 to go a little bit sooner. You could really drive it in deeper than what I expected and really get on the brakes and then just turn real hard left and get up out the corner. But like I said, I didn't figure that out till real late, and by then I was already hanging on. The right rear was already gone, so. Like I said, Martinsville's a great track though for me, so I'll take a P2 tonight.
Yeah, and you're the spiritual hard charger, the non-qualifier who made the most positions as well, starting from P10. What was it like just trying to navigate your way through the field, especially with us having such long runs here at Martinsville, which is very unusual?
Yeah, well, that first run was really good. I got kind of held back a little bit, so I was naturally just a little bit slower. But I was flying, it felt like, on that first run. I think I was like almost 4 seconds behind the two guys ahead of me by the time I got clear of everybody. And by the time that caution came out, like 20 laps after I got clear, I was right on the bumper of the two guys that were 4 seconds ahead of me. Um, so I wish I could have been able to keep that pace, but it was just hard to stay up front there at the end if you wanted to keep the track position early on without burning up the right rear. So I had to push it, and like I said, it ended up biting me there at the end. If I could have had just a little bit more right rear, I think I might have been able to get up there and get on Scott's bumper. And which, by the way, I wanna call Scott out. I don't think that's Scott. I won't. That don't sound like him. I'm just gonna say it. That might be his twin brother or something. I don't know. But no, he Scott's always good at Martinsville. I've ran second to him here multiple times already, so good win to him.
All right, well, let's look forward to next week. We do the opposite to what we did last week, and we go from the paperclip to a big, wide open 2 mile track of Michigan. So, what's the feeling like for you as we head to Michigan for the finale of the Team Watson Racing Setups chase for the Output Cup?
Well, I hope some miracle happens and we, for some reason, change the track because I can't stand Michigan. Uh, but well, I doubt that happens. So we'll still show up. We'll see what we got. I think Christian still got points over me tonight with getting the stage win. But like I said, the points, I know I was second, which I didn't know until a little bit before the race tonight. In points going into the final race or going into this race tonight, and like I said, him having his misfortunes, I don't think it'll be enough to, but I guess it'll be enough to technically be able to do something. But we'll see.
Well, I'm just having a look at the points right now, see if they've been updated yet. And they have. I can confirm you've actually dropped to third. You're 10
No,
points
well,
behind Scott, who is 4 points behind Christian.
we could take them both out then. I didn't say that though. That was my evil twin.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, Austin, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you, Corey, for doing the broadcast. All the drivers here at Output. Like I said, it's always so much fun coming out here racing with these guys. All the admins that help put on the league, and anybody that's helped got any part of the league here. Shout out to them, and shout out to all the veterans today, since it's Veterans Day.
Absolutely. But thank you very much for coming out, Austin. Congratulations on coming home P2 tonight. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week, even if you bring out your evil twin at Michigan.
We'll see.
All right, guys, that was our second place getter, the 74 of Austin Collins, the Taco Man himself. Coming up next, we're going to have our third place getter, and he's not just our third place getter. He was tied for Hard Charger, and he's also the sponsor for the chase for the Output Cup. It is, of course, the Team Watson Racing Setups number 39, James Watson. James, P3 tonight in what was a little bit of a chaotic race again for the second time in the chase.
Yeah, for Martinsville standards, it was pretty non-chaotic. You know, it wasn't that much of a calamity fest like you anticipate whenever we come here. You know, a couple cautions, that is incredible for any race at this place.
Yeah, and another race that has major championship implications, with the gap between first and second now only being 4 points.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm at in that, but I'm happy with how things have been going so far. A lot better of a chase than I was expecting coming into it, honestly.
Well, I can confirm you're currently in P5, 19 points off the lead, 1 point behind Ken Campbell, and 5 points behind Austin Collins.
How far ahead am I of P6?
4 points over Joe.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think if I can hold on to the top 5, I'd be absolutely thrilled, honestly. Top 5 would be my best points finish in output in years, not since I think the first Gen 4 season we did. So, yeah, hopefully can bring it home next week, but I think it's Michigan, so it's never been one of my better tracks. So I doubt that's gonna happen, but we'll see.
Well, let's reflect on that at the moment. As you said, Michigan next week. So go from a 2 mile to a paperclip, back to a 2 mile. So what is the feeling like for you heading into Michigan?
I'm not looking forward to it. Auto Club I tend to do decently. Michigan, definitely not anywhere close to the results that I get at Auto Club. So just gonna be hoping for the best. It's gonna be tough, but I'll do what I can and hope things work out.
All right, James, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yes, sir. Gotta thank everyone at Team Watson Racing Setups. Use code WATSPIN39 for 10% off at checkout. Gotta thank National Racing Network, Inside Lane Productions, Binks Designs, Icon Sim Racing Apparel, ZS Designs, and Dizzy V Designs for taking care of my paint schemes.
All right, James, thank you very much for coming out. Congratulations on coming home P3, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at the finale at Michigan.
Here's hoping. Cheers, Corey.
All right, guys, that was the 39, James Watson, our third place getter here tonight. And that is going to wrap things up for us here tonight for our penultimate race of the season. As described, not a very chaotic race as far as Martinsville's races are concerned, but chaotic in the sense of the championship implications of Christian Budd falling towards the back. So until next week, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator. I'll see you guys in Michigan.